Would you believe these are not the first bare feet to appear in G.I. Joe Classified? That honor goes to Quick Kick. Hello and welcome back to the Den of Dan for another figure review. Today we will be taking a look at the Royal Messenger of Cobra-LA and King Galabulus' femme fatale assassin, Pythona, from G.I. Joe Classified. Now, right off the bat, the first thing I noticed when I got this figure in the mail was the striking holofoil look to the packaging itself. Besides looking cool, the shininess definitely made it feel like you got something special here and gave it a more premium look. Or should I say Hasbro Pulse Premium. Yeah, you had to be a premium member to get this figure when it first dropped, or rather to get it earlier than everyone else. However, non-members were able to finally purchase this on November 3rd, I believe, where this figure sold out in about 48 hours or so. I myself am not a member yet. I got this figure before it was made available to everyone, so you're probably thinking I got this on the secondhand market for an insane price, and you'd be half right. I did indeed impatiently buy this back in October, but only because some generous person listed their Pythona for retail price. Here's a screenshot for proof. I couldn't believe it myself, and I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger on that one. And on top of that, this was around the time people were reselling her for around $70 or more. And here she is. A little late to the party, but you know, who cares? This figure is equally as amazing now as it was for folks who got her earlier. First things first though, I really want to reiterate how cool this holofoil box is. I almost don't want to throw it away, and I typically don't even keep most of my boxes.
Oh, don't you talk about my boxes! I like boxes!
I also like the other small details on the packaging, like how the classified number on the side has that standout font that Nemesis Immortal, or Enforcer, also has. Even the little windows on the back have a cool serpent-like theme, much like Nemesis Enforcer's box. Sorry, I really just love well-themed packaging, what can I say? I'm glad the packaging designer at Hasbro added all these little details for such a memorable character from the '87 animated movie. But enough about the packaging, let's take a look at Pythona herself. So right out of the box, going by just visuals alone, I can say this is an amazing interpretation of Pythona from the original G.I. Joe movie. Emphasis on the interpretation as Classified continues its tradition of adding more detail to adorn and embellish these existing characters to varying degrees, but also keeping them mostly recognizable to fans of the series. Looking at other Pythonas, which there aren't much in the line, you could make an argument that some aspects of the 2016 G.I. Joe Collectors Club figure has more of those cartoony, accurate details, but in a smaller 3.75-inch package. Particularly in the way her spotted serpent-like skin looks in color and texture, and how her cloak has openings for the arms as seen in the movie, making it look more like a robe. But on the other hand, I feel like the Classified does a better job with the face, which there are two of, a stoic and a much more menacing face. Going back to the Collectors Club figure whose face looks slightly off with eyebrows that are way overpronounced, and the red eyeshadow is much more flush to Pythona's eyes on the Classified version, not to mention the eyes themselves look way better. I've been saying Pythona, is it Pythona? I don't know. But anyway, I'm nitpicking over here and I'm comparing two completely different figures trying to serve two different purposes. Hell, if you want a super cartoony Pythona, just get the Reaction Plus figure from Super 7. But today, we're talking about this one, the Classified one. And with this one, you just get an overall bigger, more versatile, and more articulate figure that doesn't stray too far from what makes this character instantly recognizable and unique. But Pythona doesn't just look great, she feels great. Let me elaborate. Not only does she have her iconic ovals, but there is a new texture carved into her skin that you can actually see and feel. And if you look closely, you can even see some almost amphibian or reptilian details that weren't there before that really bring this sculpt to a whole nother level. The cloak is soft goods. I do wish it was wired, especially for this price, for such a quote-unquote premium figure, because that would help kind of keep the robe closed like she did in the movie, but no big deal. The cloak is also accurately two-toned, being black and kind of a purplish on the inside. What's new here is the added scaly texture on the fabric that looks really nice, and the new cutouts near the end of the cloak, which give it a tattered look. In fact, it's probably all wholly from when she was storming the Terrordrome. Right there, that's when it happened, right there. Anyways, she looks awesome hooded, and this was her look when she was first introduced in the film. Alright, let's do some quick articulation. Here's what the arms can do. We got some butterfly action here. Legs. Thigh cut. Feet. Head. And ab crunch. There is no boot cut though, but whatever. All in all, she's a lot of fun to pose. Next, let's get her numbers. She is almost exactly 6 inches, not counting her ponytail, making her one of the smaller classified figures. I feel like I could pose her a little straighter to get her right at 6, maybe just a hair over. For some size comparisons, here she is next to Quick Kick, Transformers Deluxe Class Vortex, Masterverse King Randor, Transformers Masterpiece Soundwave, Borger, Masters of the Universe Origins Rock-On, G1 Trypticon, Transformers Age of the Prime's Titan Class Trypticon, and a Real American Hero Dr. Mindbender. Finally, let's get into her accessories, and there are quite a few of them. First of all, no guns here. Pythona is a creepy-ass sea witch amphibian monster thing from an H.P. Lovecraft book, so her weapons are creatures of the deep, or things the creature from the Black Lagoon would have as a pet. There are 5 of these weird biomechanical critters as seen in the movie, starting with the 4-headed eel thing which she used in the film to gnaw through the gates around the Terrordrome. This can also be wrapped around her arm as a wearable weapon. Next we have this little turtle thing which she used as some sort of knockout or tear gas, or maybe it's some kind of stink bomb. Hell, maybe it just farted. Next we have this clam which kind of acted as a crystal ball, no not that one, and could project images. Next we have the other shellfish thing that she used to shoot out some sort of webbing that mummified those Crimson Guard men. Next we have this horrifying thing that she threw at those other 2 guards where they wrapped around their faces like a face hugger from Alien. Moving on to hands, here we have 2 closed fists and 2 other hands with very interesting effects on them. Like this one dripping with acid, or that venom she uses. And the other which I don't really remember from the movie, but it looks like a smoke effect, or she's turning into Tetsuo from Akira. I don't know, but it's kind of cool. Next we have these new chakram type weapons, which I don't remember her using either. So these might be a new addition for her, and she just looks awesome with them, so I'll take them. Another closer look at the additional head here. And lastly, one of the Chaos Emeralds.
Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald?
The pink one that Zartan really liked in the movie. Okay, so that was a look at the G.I. Joe classified Pythona of Cobra-LA. I know the fan base can be pretty divided here, as Cobra-LA wasn't for everyone. But make no mistake, Hasbro took a memorable character from the animated film and turned her into a badass modern figure. I always loved her cool sea witch design, and that look is lovingly recreated here. This is one of those figures you can show to non-Joe fans, and they would never guess it was from a kid's movie from the 80s. She's a few sharp weapons away from being in the McFarlane Tortured Souls figure line. But what do you all think? Will you be picking it up? Was it worth getting early through Hasbro Premium? Did G.I. Joe peak before, during, or after the animated film? Comment your comment in the comments. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope you tune in to the next video.